Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV with the Rude Man, and last episode we lost Moon Brita, and this is a character I think I've mentioned before that I really wanted to know more about. I thought they missed an opportunity to have some background information and more story about Moon Brita. She came and went very fast. But anyway, these folk have to find a way to go on, so let's continue. As Moon Brita was a native of Sharlayan, I feel it is only fitting that we gather before the mark of the scholar. Are you familiar with the stone? 'Tis a monument found at Wraithfrost, and is sacred to Thaliac Guardian, deity of the City of Learning. There shall we pray for our dear friend's soul, and bid her a peaceful return to the light of the Mother Crystal. Alright, so we'll go up and pay our respects.
Forgive me, Moon Brita. Had I been quicker or wiser. But I was not, and you paid the price. But you would not suffer us to wallow in our sorrow, would you? You would tell us to pick ourselves up and get on with it. And so we shall. We shall defend this realm and her people to the last.
Life for death, a fair exchange. Other bargains will be struck.
And that means what? Though we have said our farewells, the pall of sadness has diminished but little. Forgive me, as antecedent, 'tis my job to be the pillar of strength for all others to lean upon. Yet, I also believe the grief we feel now is precious in its own way, and not to be lightly swept aside. Do you not agree, Roland? 'Tis as if a dagger has been thrust into my breast. But 'tis pain we must learn to bear if we are to forge ahead with our duties. The battles we have fought have taken the lives of so many. Louisoix, Moon Brita, our fellows at the Waking Sands. Their spirit and dedication to our cause, however, will never be lost as long as we rise to fight once more. I hardly need to remind you of this, of course. 'Tis for my own benefit that I repeat these words, reaffirmation of mine own chosen path. If I do not rebuild the foundation of my resolve, I am like to collapse in a fit of weeping. My apologies again, Roland. There's no other to whom I could display such weakness. You are my pillar of strength, and I fear I shall have need of your steadfast presence in the days to come. A victory won, a comrade lost. To honor the fallen, the living forge ever on toward the light of a new day. My apologies for the interruption. I was deeply saddened to learn of Moonbreeda's passing. Her loss will be sorely felt. Alas, recent developments in Ishgard leave us little time to mourn. The envoy from Corthius will soon arrive, and we must hasten to hear her report. The envoy is here. Thank you for receiving me at such short notice. Time is of the essence, so I would forego the usual pleasantries if I may. Certainly. You come with news of the Dravarnians? Aye. The dragons have begun their attack in earnest. The first wave reached the central highland a short while ago, and battle was joined soon thereafter. Sir Emmerich himself sallied forth with a contingent of temple knights and several companies of the noble house's finest. Though the beasts were ultimately forced to retreat, our victory, in such it may be called, came at the cost of many of our own. Too many. We will not withstand a second wave should the Dravarians renew their assault. You paint a grim picture, my lady. It is reinforcements that you seek, then? We do, though it pricks our pride. It is plain we cannot protect Ishgard with our ranks thus thinned by the Horde. Sir Emmerich would meet with you to discuss the possibility of enlisting your aid. Very well. I shall depart for Corthius at once. I must warn you, however, that the involvement of the Crystal Braves is by no means assured. Our commitment to quelling the unrest in Ulda must take precedence. It is with such contingencies in mind that I must make another request. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are known for sharing close ties with all three of the Grand Companies of Erosia. Would you consent to plead our case to their leaders? Though I will gladly appeal to the Grand Companies on your behalf, I dare not promise a favorable reply. You need say no more. Considering our past dealings with the Erosian Alliance, I can well imagine how our plea will be received. But the fate of Ishgard hangs in the balance. We must explore every avenue still open to us, no matter how unpromising. I see. Well, very well. I shall send envoys to each of the allied nations and have them present your request directly to the heads of the Grand Companies. In the event that the plea does receive a favorable answer, know that any support is certain to be conditional. Demands will be made of Ishgard. That is only to be expected. Rest assured that I speak with Sir Emmerich's authority in the matter, and that our actions are fully sanctioned by the Holy See. Which brings me to the final request, a personal appeal to you, Warrior of Light. The Lord Commander much desires to speak with you, regardless of your fellow's involvement. You faced Midgard Sormor and survived. Anything you can share of your experience may yield us an advantage over our foe. Thank you. You wear the mantle of hero well. 'Twould seem that the road leads us both to Camp Dragonhead. Seek me out when you arrive, Roland.
The sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. Only then will the cycle be broken. Brothers and sisters of the heavens, we raise our voices and join you in the chorus. The sinner's feeble magics are undone. Come, claim your retribution.
Uh-oh. They got problems. We gotta go. Neo Mio. It seems I was the swifter, Roland. You too, however, have arrived with time to spare, for our host has yet to make an appearance. The murmuring about the camp tell of some manner of trouble at the gates of Juggernaut. In the Lord Commander's absence, I suggest we visit this place and find out what is afoot. Heretic scum, how dare they meddle with our divine protections? I shall rid our nation of their blasphemy, even if it means cutting them down by one. Blasphemy, huh? We need not fret over much. There are yet several layers of arcane protection that shield the city from invasion. Mother will be fine. Oh, he's always thinking about his mother. All right, what else have we got? We missed some, didn't we? Oh, there they are in the corner. Ran right through there and didn't see them. The gates of judgment are much more than mere doors. They are the outermost layer of Ishgard's magical wards. If our first line of defense can be so easily shattered. When I laid eyes upon Lady Iceheart, I felt the marrow freeze within my bones. Twould seem the heretic struck the first and most telling blow against Ishgard. Scions, We expected you at Camp Dragonhead. My apologies. We chanced to hear that there had been trouble at the gate and thought it prudent to investigate the cause. Then you have learned of the heretic's treachery. Lady Iceheart led a force of her followers against our defenders and came close enough to dispel the first of our wards. But let us speak more of this back at the camp. Sir Emmerich awaits you. All right, back to the camp. Lady Iceheart has grown bold indeed if she would risk the direct action against the city. Come, let us do as we bid. Lady Iceheart has grown bold indeed if she would risk direct action against the city. Come, let us do as we were bid and return to Camp Dragonhead. Lord Haurchefant will know where Sir Emmerich means to receive us. "'Tis reassuring indeed to behold the countenance of a friend when one's homeland teeters upon the very brink of disaster. Though a single misstep could send us plunging into the abyss, your heroic presence stokes the faint flames of courage within my heart. Ah, but you did not come to Dragonheart to listen to me prattling. The Lord Commander has arrived and would treat with you in the intercessory." "Greetings, sir. Shall I show you inside?" "I thank you for coming with such haste and apologize for my absence. Suffice it to say, Lady Iceheart and her heretics have much to answer for." "Yes, we are but recently returned from the gates of judgment ourselves. Given the circumstances, we quite understand if you would prefer to postpone our appointed audience." "On the contrary, Master Alphino, I think it more important than ever that this meeting take place. Rest assured, I shall return to my post on Ishgard's walls the moment our business is concluded. Before we move on to the subject of reinforcements, however, I would introduce you to a close friend and stalwart ally, Estinian." "May I present to you Ishgard's Azure Dragon?" An impressive title, though I confess I know precious little of the Order of the Dragoons. They are formidable warriors all, yet even among such masters of the lance, Estinian is without equal. He, out of all the warriors of Ishgard, was chosen to wield the power of the dragons, and may thus contend with any Dravarian. "You flatter me overmuch, Lord Commander." "So, you are the adventurer of whom they spoke? I see now why my blood fair sang in anticipation of our meeting. Well, now that we have all been introduced, let's proceed to the matter at hand. I would share with you what we have learned of Iceheart's design as confessed by the heretics taken captive after the assault on the gates. 'Twould seem the Lady Iceheart and Dravanians share a common goal, the reclamation of Nidhogg's stolen eye. Nidhogg, one of the 7 great worms. His name features prominently in your nation's history, though once defeated by the hero Haldrath, the beast is said to have terrorized Korthius since Ishgard's founding. Aye, many are the scars our walls bear from Nidhogg's relentless efforts to raise the city. The trophy Haldrath plucked from the beast worm's skull, known simply as the Eye, is a treasured relic of Ishgard and one possessed of untold power. Should it ever be returned to Nidhogg, the dread creature would be restored to the height of his strength, and then no wall or ward we could erect would be stout enough to deny him. This is the voice of Misgard Somer. My vengeful son hath waged war against Ishgard for 1,000 years. No mortal mind could comprehend the depths of his rancor. The eye itself is secreted deep within the vault. It is kept under heavy guard, surrounded at all times by men and women who have proven their loyalty to the Holy See. But though stout walls and sharp blades may suffice to discourage the heretics, the dragons are another matter. There are individuals within the Dravanian horde whom an entire company of knights would labor to repel, to say nothing of Nidhogg himself. Nor does age rob them of their strength. Through the endless march of years, the dragons endure, patient, calculating, inexorable. You must understand these creatures do not share our perception of time. And that is especially true of the great worms, they who spend centuries in slumber only to wake and resume their campaign as if mere hours had passed. It has been 20 years since Nidhogg last darkened our skies, 20 years for him to gather his strength and for us to bolster our defenses. And now, just as he seems primed to return, the heretics strike at the gates. You believe that Lady Iceheart is in league with this creature, then? Of that, we cannot be certain. Though we know the heretics covet the eye, we have been unable to determine their plans for it. Such questions aside, we must needs address the ragged hole that Mistress has seen fit to rend in Ishgard's protections. 'Tis a weakness the Dravanians are not like to leave untested. So it would seem. You've described your plight in admirable detail, Lord Commander. Yet, I cannot help but wonder at your candor. Why share such sensitive information with us? I shall speak plain. Ishgard has need of allies, and I would have you bolster our front lines in readiness for the coming battle against the dragons. This much I expected. Unlike our arrangement concerning the Keeper of the Lake, however, only you stand to benefit from our assistance in this matter. I fail to see why we should intervene in the conflict which concerns only Ishgard and Dravania. When the Erosian Alliance requested Ishgard's assistance during Operation Archon, you refused us. Does it not seem grossly unjust to demand that we now risk our lives in your private war? I make no attempt to defend my country's conduct. I only ask that you consider what would follow were Ishgard to fall. Having razed our city to the ground, the Horde would have little cause to linger, and most would return to their lairs in Dravania. Soon thereafter, the ruins of Korthius would be buried in snow, and the land would become the sole province of beasts and beastmen. Until the Garleans arrive, that is. For you may be certain that the Empire would not hesitate to claim Korthius. They would not even have to draw steel. An imperial province shared a border with Mordona? 7 hells. Very well. We'll assist you in repelling the dragons. The roar of a great worm may have shaken the firmament, but we Erosians will not abandon our Ishgardian brothers to face the coming horde alone. Big talk, little man. Nor did I ever think that you would. Now, upon the matter of the roar, allow me, Sir Emmerich. Through the power of the Eye, I have become the vessel of Nidgard's strength. His essence has stolen into my very blood. Fear not, I am in full control of my faculties, I assure you. And the Eye itself is of no relevance to this tale. It is not essential that I bear it with me, wheresoever I go. Its lingering influence does, however, allow me to hear Nidhogg's voice. Then the worm who roared was Nidhogg. Aye. He means to hurl his horde against Daphanin's collar and shatter the remaining wards that protect the city. There can be no doubt the worm has summoned his minions to war. Though the circumstances are far from ideal, this desperate endeavor will at least provide us an opportunity to bring the sister states of Erosia together in common cause. Sir Emmerich was more ruthless in his negotiations than I had anticipated. I suppose one must give no quarter when one's home is at stake. But did you see the look on his face when he formally requested our assistance? Though the Lord Commander has long campaigned for Ishgard to open its gates to outsiders, I suspect this softening of the Holy See's attitude towards foreign cooperation comes as something of a bittersweet victory. The days ahead promise to be interesting indeed. They can talk like this right in front of him and he doesn't hear them? Was he deaf? If we are to aid the Ishgardians in this war of theirs, preparations will have to be made, and soon. Before proceeding, however, we must needs return to the Rising Stones and make our report to the antecedent.
Alphino, it is good to see you. Tell me, what have you learned?
Pray summon the others. Everyone must hear my report.
So this was all but a taste of what's to come.
Indeed. The main host advances upon Ishgard as we speak.
Whose vaunted defenses have been nullified.
Shorn of its wards, the city will bear the full force of Nidhogg's fury.
All those people.
Alphino is right. The Dravanians cannot be allowed to prevail. If Ishgard falls, all of Eorzea will suffer the consequences.
Then you agree that we have no choice but to intervene. For the good of the realm, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn and the Crystal Braves must join the defense of Ishgard.
Let there be no ambiguity about what has been proposed. We would be directly intervening in the war. But if all here believe the cause to be just, then to war we shall go. The path we now embark upon is perilous, but I pray you will walk with us to the end. For those we have lost, for those we can yet save.
Then it is settled. I shall inform the Council of our intentions and request that they contribute their own forces to the defense of Ishgard.
What's that all about? He doesn't trust them. I have bid the Archons travel to their assigned nations. Should the members of the Alliance agree to pledge Grand Company soldiers to Ishgard's cause, our comrades will be on hand to act as intermediates for the duration of the conflict. The small matter of persuading the Alliance leaders to grant such support I leave to Alphinaud. For you, my friend, a different task awaits. I would have you reach out to your fellow adventurers and gather what allies you may for the coming siege. I would also have you consider the matter of our own security. Revenant's Toll is but a short flight from the snowfields of Korthius. It is not unimaginable that fighting may spill across the border. Pray brief Slavborn on the brewing conflict and discuss potential contingencies. The frontier settlers must be prepared for aught that might wing its way over our walls. I only hope that such precautions prove unnecessary. And before you leave, might I suggest that you have Tataru accompany you? She has a talent for administration and a firm grasp on the practical challenges that may be encountered. We are rather close to Korthius, aren't we? We'd best see to our own defense and take stock of our supplies. Oh, and we'll all need to have beds and bandages laid out just in case. A good receptionist is ready for any eventuality. Let's go, Roland. I've 101 things to discuss with Slavborn. I appreciate the warning. If war's coming to Korthius, then the toll must be made ready. I'll increase the number of patrols and lookouts immediately. I'll also see about finding room for the infirm, as well as temporary housing for victims of the conflict. Ishgard has done well by us in the past, and I would return the favor. But as far as rounding up volunteers for fighting itself, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. I will not send my fellow guild members to die on the Ishgardian soil, and I'm certain headquarters will say the same. There will be no official Adventurers Guild presence at the siege. That said, each adventurer is of course free to do as he or she will. I shall have a word with some of the more capable colleagues on your behalf, and you might try your luck here in Revenant's Toll. I dare say there are a few stout souls about town who will answer your call to arms. Let's get started, shall we? We have a town to rouse. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get much luck here. Spare me your talk of glory and fame. I'm not in the habit of volunteering for lost causes. I've survived this long by trusting my instincts, and my instincts tell me to stay well away from Ishgard. Smart woman. Ishgard sounds like she's in a right mess, but that ain't what I wanted to talk to you about. I need you to cast your mind back to that scuffle with the Empire out by the Processions plant. A lad from Little Alamigo by the name of Wilrid was there with the 4th that day. I want to know if you've seen him since. Have you? God damn it, I feared as much. No one's bloody seen him. It's like the ground opened up and swallowed him whole. But that ain't all. Around the time Wilrid stopped turning up for duty, the black market weapons went missing from our vault in Ul'dah. So now, of course, half the Braves suspect that the lad was making off with the goods. Folk like to believe our company's a disciplined fighting force, but as you and me both know, it's more a motley collection of mercenaries, adventurers, and Grand Company veterans. The only thing that binds us together is some vague oath about fighting for the freedom of all, that and a steady pay. Now, compared to most others in this crew, Wilrid's a fresh-faced novice, a bleeding whelp amongst wolves. But the boy's got passion. When he talked about being the guardian of Erosia, he bloody well meant it. A lad like him wouldn't rob us blind and booger off like that. He ain't the type. And then, this is just between you and me, there's the fact that the lad wanted to tell me about something queer he noticed in the ledgers. Something about the Braves' numbers not adding up. Aye, there's a villain at the end of this trail that I've stumbled on, and I'll bet my good eye it ain't young Wilrid. Any road, you've got a war to wage, so I'll let you get back to it. I just thought someone should know. I'll see ya, Roland. Alright, where else we gotta go? Up this way. So Ishgard seeks sellswords to bolster its ranks, huh? Though I'm not sure I like the sound of this siege. Those nobles will surely be generous with their rewards. Ah, but I have pledged myself to guard Revenant's Toll. Modest work though it is, I am loath to break the terms of my contract. What to do, what to do. Volunteer my services in defense of Ishgard? I think not. Dragons claim the lives of every one of my brothers. I do not mean to offer them mine. 'Twas to escape such a fate that I took up the mantle of adventure in the first place. I would sooner die in the pursuit of fortune than huddled behind an icy wall. Sell my blades to the Isgardians. Well, them dragons are a fearsome lot, but I'd slay my fair share if the coin was good. I've worked for one of them knights before, you know. Watched me like a bloody hawk, he did. Still, I'd put up with worse than that for a heavy purse. So, we got 1 yes and 1 maybe, and 2 no's. Time to take a break. I'll see you in the next episode.